Frost damage effects on alfalfa and red clover. We had a couple of low night temperatures, and I thought that might be good to start out with this and go through this pretty quickly. What you're seeing on your screen is a map of the mesonet settings or mesonet locations for the low temperature on April 15. And I'll show you a table to this in a second. And just cut to the chase, if anything, we were a little cooler on April 15 than we were on April 16, the morning of April 16. But if you look up there at the top center of the state, that 22 degrees was Cynthiana, and it was 22 both days. It looks like Lexington got down to around 25 on the 15th and 25 on the 16th. And I do want to thank Matt Dixon for pulling this data together in a real hurry to help make these points today. Matt also pulled this together. This is for the morning of the 15th, the several locations, several stations, the time below 31 degrees, 27 degrees, and 26 degrees up here at the top. And I pulled out a section of this to show you that, some locations, Cynthiana, Richmond, Shelbyville, Somerset, Vanceburg, had more than 2 hours below 26 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's cold. Now, what we were going through before this thing, before April 15th, was we could see the cold was coming, but how bad was it going to be, and what should we advise producers to do? At least on the limited number of calls that I got, I said don't cut. But I didn't expect it for the alfalfa to be that as sensitive as it was in 07. But this is 2007. This is before the mesonet, so we have fewer locations of temperature to report. But the point I want to make is that we had a lot more hours under 26 degrees, and the length of time below 31, 27, and 26 was greater in 2007. Now, in 2017, we had a similar late frost, but it came earlier. And to try to anticipate after the fact, whenever it did not cause a problem, we wound up choosing this growing degree day 50 accumulation number to gauge, as set as the threshold for whether or not we would anticipate damage to a late frost. You can see in 2007, we were above 300. In 2017, much lower. We didn't have damage in 2017. This is all in AGR 236, and in there we proposed that growing degree day 50 of 300 as the threshold for frost or freeze sensitivity in alfalfa. And this is the GDD 50s for April 15 this year, 2000 in Lexington, but Bowling Green, Paducah, Jackson actually were above 300, but the low temperatures were quite a bit warmer than they were in 2007. That being said, I haven't had reports from, for example, Joanna in Bowling Green. I don't know if you've seen alfalfa hurt badly, but we'll talk about what we've seen up here. In the morning of, this was on the 16th, this is after 2 nights. This is the south side of the Spindletop Farm in Lexington. The frost damage in the morning showing the curled over tops. This is that same field, same view in the afternoon. Still some curling evident, but the alfalfa was standing up and basically undamaged as far as I could tell. There's a close-up of what that looked like. On the other side of the farm, north side of the farm, it looked different. This is a 1-year-old alfalfa stand, and it had a leaf burn and damage. So let's take a closer look at that, because it's important to know, or to try to figure out, okay, so is it going to come back? So there's the damage on the left, and on the right is one shoot out of that was pretty well characteristic of all of the shoots that we saw. You can see that, if anything, you would gauge that the frost hurt these older leaves or slightly older leaves more than this younger tissue. This younger tissue, it looks unaffected or very little, or not affected very much. And so It's our opinion that we expect that to regrow and to grow out of this. So I told you that spindle top was variable. The effect was variable. If this on the left is that north side of the farm, south side of the farm, closer to town. On the right, basically undamaged, and that's in the afternoon. It appeared, or at least in Lexington, it certainly hurt alfalfa more than red clover. You can see the singe look there on the alfalfa, the red clover. This is about 1 o'clock in the afternoon after the frost had been melted off. This is a close-up of the red clover on the left, the recovered red clover in the afternoon on the right. So conclusions is that we had variable damage on alfalfa, but we expect alfalfa to grow out of it. Red clover much less affected. And again, we don't have a lot of data points for the last bullet, but that it still looks like that the growing degree day of 50 is a base 50 of 300 still appears to be an approximate threshold for late frost susceptibility, and it just depends on how cold you get. So the extent of damage depends on the temperature. And I should tell you that in 2007, the low temperatures that we received laid the red clover and alfalfa flat on the ground, and it regrew from the crown. So we lost the first cut. Okay.